Hello, everyone. Today, we're going to delve into setting up Unity Access remote authentication using OpenID Connect, specifically focusing on its integration with Microsoft Entra ID. This will allow your Unity Access system to leverage your organization's existing identity management provider for secure and streamlined user logins. Before we begin the configuration, it's essential to ensure you have the following prerequisites in place. First, you'll need Unity Access version 7.14 or newer, installed and properly configured. Second, you must have access to your organization's OIDC service. In our case, this will be Microsoft Entra ID. Third, a time server must be configured on your Unity Access appliance. This is critical for authentication processes. Fourth, you'll require necessary administrative credentials for both your Unity Access system and your directory service, Microsoft Entra ID in this context. And finally, ensure your network firewall rules are configured to allow the Unity Access server to communicate with the OIDC server. For Microsoft Entra ID, this typically means allowing connections to login.microsoftonline.com and graph.microsoft.com. Let's start with the Unity Access configuration. Navigate to Setup and Settings, then System Settings, and select External Domains. From there, click on Add External Domain. You'll then be prompted to enter a name for your new external domain. Choose a descriptive name, perhaps something like Entra IDOIDC. Crucially, for the domain type, select OpenID Connect. Now, let's switch gears to the Microsoft Entra Admin Center. Within the Entra Admin Center, go to App Registrations and click on New Registration. Once the new registration is created, an important step is to copy the application, client, ID value. You'll need this shortly in Unity Access. Back in Unity Access, in the OpenID Connect external domain configuration, you'll find a field for Client ID. Paste the application Client ID value that you just copied from the Entra Admin Center app registration into this field. Returning to your app registration within the Entra Admin Center, navigate to Certificates and Secrets and select New Client Secret. Enter a descriptive value for the description field and choose an appropriate expires setting. It's important to consider your organization's security policies for secret expiration. Once you save, immediately copy the client secret value. Please note that this value is typically only shown once, so ensure you copy it before navigating away. Back in Unity Access, locate the client secret field in your OpenID Connect external domain settings. Paste the client secret value you just copied from the Entra Admin Center app registration into this field. Let's go back to the app registration in the Entra Admin Center one more time. From the Overview section of your app registration, click on Endpoints. Here, you'll find various endpoint URLs. Copy the OpenID Connect metadata document URL. It's important to omit the trailing /.wellknown/OpenID configuration portion of the URL when you copy it. You only need the base URL for the issuer. In Unity Access, in the OpenID Connect external domain configuration, you'll find the issuer field. Enter the OpenID Connect metadata document URL you just copied, ensuring you've omitted the trailing portion into this field. This URL tells Unity Access where to find the OpenID Connect configuration for your Entra ID tenant. Before saving this, also copy the redirect URI that Unity Access displays. You'll need this for the next step. Now, back in the Entra Admin Center, still within your app registration, click on the Redirect URIs section. You'll paste the redirect URI that you just copied from Unity Access. This is a critical step as it tells Entra ID where to send the authentication token after a successful login. Now, for the final step of linking a Unity Access identity to an Entra ID user. In the Entra ID admin console, navigate to Users. Select the specific user you wish to configure for remote authentication. From their user details, copy the user principal name, UPN. This is crucial for mapping. Back in Unity Access, go to Identities and search for the identity you want to enable for remote authentication. Open that identity's details. Scroll down to the Login Details section. Here, you'll make the following critical configurations. For remote domain, select the external domain you created earlier. The username field is the value that will be used to log in to Unity Access. This can be anything you choose for Unity Access. The remote username field is where you paste the user principal name you copied from Entra ID. This is the link between the two systems. Finally, ensure that remote authentication is checked. Once all these steps are completed, it's time to thoroughly test your remote authentication setup. Attempt to log in to Unity Access using the configured identity and observe if the authentication is handled successfully through Microsoft Entra ID. Verify that the user can access resources as expected. Thank you for your attention. This concludes our guide on setting up OpenID Connect remote authentication with Microsoft Entra ID for Unity Access. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask.